What up, party people? Welcome to another edition of DJ to DJ. And again, here we are with another amazing talent. It is my pleasure to introduce my good friend, Freddie Morales. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Buenos dias. Here on a beautiful Monday in Los Angeles, California.
That's right, man. Now, we got to talk about your insomnia, dude. So
Yeah.
you and I were texting back and forth. It was like about what, 12, maybe almost midnight. Prepping for this morning's recording session. And you say, I'm going to shoot you, my PFK, shortly, and this and that. And I wake up this morning, and at 4 a.m., Freddie is still up doing his thing. And yet, here we are. And look at you, looking all fresh, como si nada.
Right now at 1 o'clock, you're going to see the crow's feet showing up.
You mean these things right here? These things?
Yeah, these lovely little marks here. You know what? Since this pandemic started, my insomnia has gotten crazy. And it reminds me of when I was in my early 20s when I didn't sleep because I was just in the studio recording. So I would take the opportunity of having that time and having everybody sleeping, no distraction, no cars. And it's just the best time for me to produce. And last night, these past few weeks have been like that for me. Sometimes, I can go on to like probably 3, 4 o'clock in the morning like I did last night. And then I'll sleep 8 hours or wake up at 11, get up, take a nap. I take naps now. Never taken a nap in my life. So I know when my body's like, hey, man, and I'm up, I'm close to my 50s next year. So my body has been kind of like,
brother, tell me about it, man. Tell me about it. So you and I, we met, what was it, early 2000s.
Yes.
And you were DJing, but I met you because I was on air at Viva 107.1, and you had just launched the album for Desvio. And that's how you and I came to cross paths. And I don't even really remember how we met, who introduced us, or what happened.
Well, you were very hot DJ at that time.
I'm still very hot, but it's only because I'm heavy now. And...
Well, you're always hot, But at that time, you were on a radio station here in Los Angeles, which is a very competition here in Los Angeles. To be on the radio waves, showcasing music to millions of listeners. I mean, that's a great way to.
It was fun
to support your artists here from Los Angeles. And you and I met through Desvio because of our song En Mis Brazos, which became a huge hit thanks to all of the DJs, including you, who played it on the, on radio. We used to have the mix shows on Fridays and Saturdays. And I would be mixed in with, moenya, sentidos opuestos, la ley, and all that rock and pop in Espanol. And that's how we met. And that's the year when I finally got the album signed after waiting for a year and a half, 2 years of just, and we were at the tail end of it because, I don't know, music was just moving so fast.
It was.
And I just wanted this project that I dedicated pretty much my entire life in my early 20s to get it out to a proper label to represent electronic music in Los Angeles. Moenya is the electronic band of Mexico, but Desvio, I wanted us to be that Latin pop band from Los Angeles, coming from Los Angeles, creating that international sound that, we all grew up listening to.
Yeah, and when I first heard the song, I fell in love with it because just like you, my all-time favorite band, The Boys, Peshmo.
Yeah.
That's it, man. I mean, when I went to when I went to see them, and it was funny because I had heard their music, Depeche Mode, and I liked a couple of the tracks. Strange Love, I think, was my favorite back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I went to go see them at the Rose Bowl, and I was like, blown away. And that was when I became a diehard fan, and never missed a concert ever since. And the sounds that you guys were bringing out just reminded me of them. Your voice reminded me of Dave Gahan. And I fell in love with the song En Mis Brazos, and I just remember saying, I got to spin this track. I remember talking to the program director, and I said, listen, I need to lay this in. And he took a listen to it, and he goes, yeah, no, it goes good. Let's make it work. All right, boom. So then
Thank you for that, Fernando. I mean, seriously, you, along with the other DJs, were the main source of getting this song out. And remember, we had Napster back then too. We didn't have the social media, so that was being circulated. The CDs were dying, and we were entering the whole MP3 sharing social. You know, the beginning of that.
The torrents, remember that?
Yeah, torrents. Oh my God! But that was a great channel to release it to all the DJs internationally that way. So thanks for you for putting that on the radio, because radio is hard. You know, you gotta when you don't have a label, but you have a good, and that's the thing. We didn't have a label. We weren't ready for the success of this. I mean, I was working at a radio and record label at the time, so I had the best of both worlds. I was working for Sony doing remixes for them, remixing Ricky Martin, Shakira, Monica Naranjo. So out of that, I said, hey guys, by the way, I have this project and I want you to listen to it. I think I paid my dues. I showed you can you guys do me a favor and get this out? I just want this out on a major. And it happened. So under Sony Latin, it got released. But thanks to you, who just played a lot on the radio station. And we did some events. We did Dodger Stadium. We did an event with you guys. Yeah. It was it like Dodger Day? Dodger fan appreciate. Viva Los Dodgers.
Viva Los Dodgers. Yeah. We the cool thing about that is that aside from having my Friday Saturday mix show, I was in charge of the marketing promotions department, so I could pretty much create events and stuff. And anywhere I saw that you guys fit in, I said that they're on the bill. So that was the cool thing, that we were able to.
Also Pappy's
Nightclub, and Giggles. We did.
Giggles Nightclub.
It was funny because one of our first events that we did was this Veal at Giggles. It was we were testing the grounds because we were a new radio station in town here in Los Angeles, and we started to test the grounds, and we said, okay, well, let's do a dance party. And the owner of Giggles Nightclub, Edmund, rest in peace, he said,
passed away?
Yeah, he passed away, bro. He passed away, unfortunately. Yeah,
those guys were amazing.
Some years ago, he the last time I saw him, unfortunately, I saw him, very frail. And, he told me, unfortunately, he got the cancer, like both our fathers.
They were brothers. I remember.
Yes, it was Garnick and Edmund.
So he died too, huh?
No, actually, Garnick, I believe, is still around. I think he still owns the club. But yeah, Edmund, unfortunately,
he did pass
I believe
away.
it was prostate, same thing as my father.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it took him, but he was a good man.
Oh, great guys. I mean, look, they knew how to market to the Latinos. We partied, and Wings and Giggles was the nightclub. I mean, this is a day when we used to go out and dance.
Yep, when we were able to do it without masks and stuff.
Right, we would just say, "Hey, baby, you want to dance? All right, let's do it." It
was on. So let's backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go back. I'm curious as to what came first, because I've seen pictures of you as a youngling performing on stage and doing all these little performances for schools, I believe, and rec centers. I think I saw you at. But then I also saw you DJing. So what came first? Was it performing or DJing?
DJing came first. I mean, I grew up in Southgate. Great times in the 80s. I mean, we had turntables, and I had a lot of my friends who were DJs, and they were older than me. I would go to their house and I would see them scratch and all that. And I'm like, I want to learn how to on vinyl. So I got my hands on that, and I got to see a lot of my friends who were amazing on the turntables. And I just started learning how to beat match on vinyl.
And how old were you at this time when you
discovered? I was 16, 17. Between 14 and 17, I was very exposed into music, especially when I got into high school. When I entered high school, I mean, that was it. That was the beginning of that venture. And so I would go out to my friends' quinceañeras, and when they would get tired, I would step in and they would like test me out. All right, man, here you go. Here's these songs to beat match them. Don't mess it up, man. And that's how I learned. They threw me out in the fire and playing in front of a live audience, and that's how I did it. And then we did transition with CDs. I didn't like the CDs. I coming from the vinyl to CDs, I became too digital. And it took me a while to kind of get used to the CD. And then when MP3 that came out, much more control. And I kind of love the evolution of how music is today. Now you can see the waveform in front of you as you're mixing. So now you're mixing not just by sound, you're now mixing with a visual. With the visual of the wave file, so you know of the cuts. And it's beautiful. Like last night I was mixing and I was just admiring the awesome colors now that you see on the wave files now, right? You see where the break is coming.
Exactly. That's what's amazing, because for me, right now I'm developing a tutorial as to how I learned to beat mix back in the early 80s. And I always talk about, my first turntables were not 1200s. They were not Techniques. They were Radio Shack realistic turntables with a little pitch control.
I didn't get Techniques till later.
It didn't even have a curved arm. It had a straight arm. I had a little realistic mixer. Did not have a crossfader. Okay, it was just up and down. That was it. So that's how I got started. My dad said, "You want turntables?" I was like, "Yeah, please hook me up. Can you buy it for me?" He goes, "No, go get a job, get them." So I went. I started delivering furniture on weekends, and every Saturday that I got paid, I went and put my turntables on layaway. Every week, was making a payment till I got one turntable, and then I got another turntable, and then I got the mixer.
Do you remember because things were expensive at that time for us. I got my dad helped me with my first synthesizer. God rest his soul. Thank you, Dad, for that. He got me my first synthesizer, but I worked on the summers to pay it off, And then later on, then I got my own stuff. My first mixer was a Pyramid. Do you remember those Pyramid mixers?
With the big.
Everyone had those. Yes, Pyramid mixer with Gemini turntables, which weren't good. But look, I think if you learn how to mix with the low budget type of equipment, you'll become a professional.
Yeah.
I think testing the bounds of other equipment that is not as a technique, or it kind of challenges you to become that better mixer and beat matcher, because as you and I know, I've performed in front of a lot of different types of music too as well. So you got to know how to come in and out. People come in, hey, can you play my song? And you want to keep the people, and this I'm talking about when you're doing parties, when you're doing quinceañeras, a wedding and all that. It's totally different from when you're doing a nightclub. A nightclub, you already have your set, you know what you're going. You're going to show your people your style of music, your style of mixing, style of blending. And that's how I got started. And thanks to that. And then from there, I was a late bloomer when it came to producing music. As I started learning how to DJ mix and get those skills, then I wanted to get into the production side of it, remixing and sampling off the off the vinyl and bringing that into the computer and creating dance tracks, which in the 90s was the whole rave and techno. And that thanks to the ASR 10 keyboard sampler, I was able to cut some tracks, and it was awesome because I was able to produce dance tracks and then have them on vinyl and then mix them myself. I still have the vinyl today.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Now you started also performing though. Now correct me if I'm wrong. I think you started off just doing lip sync.
Yes, I did.
Performing to like Duran Duran and Devotional Mode and stuff like that. And so you were already, the performer was already in your heart as a child, You know
what? I started going back. I think I already knew what I wanted to do. I would perform for my family, as my grandma, God rest her soul. She lived to be 100. She was my big time for a supporter, and she would tell me a lot of stories growing up. And she told me that music was such a huge part of me that I would go into a room and then, all right, it's the Freddie show, and all the family is just sitting around, and whatever I would do, they would just be entertained. And I started with lip syncing. They would put a record on and I would just mimic. And I got that idea from a street performer in Hollywood. My dad would take us out to Hollywood, and we would see these street performers in Hollywood back in the day.
Right.
And I saw this guy lip syncing, and it was so much fun. I was like, I'm going to try that. So that kind of broke the ice for me to do lip syncing, to get that. And I did Duran Duran. I was an MTV kid. I grew up watching all those bands. And I wanted to feel that power on stage and communicating and transmitting that music to the audience. And I was an MTV kid, just watching videos and watching Dave Gahan, watching Simon Le Bon, watching Michael Hutchence, U2. I was like, wow, those guys are amazing. David Bowie, I want to do something like that. I don't want to be behind the decks anymore. I want to be up in front. So little by little, as I got older, I started kind of, testing my own challenges and started performing. And then from there, when I got into high school was I couldn't go to Southgate High School because of a certain section that you lived, and if you lived on that, that whole A, B, C, and D track. So I was being bussed out in the Valley. I went to Nobel Junior High and Chatsworth for my last senior years, and I got to meet a lot of good producers out there, young producers who became amazing producers working for films, and DJs. Some of them are DJs now, and so I just wanted to kind of I wanted to know it all, from DJing, from mixing, from producing, to even getting involved with the artwork, from the video, everything. I love it. I mean, I'm still doing it today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I got to share a funny story with you because I always also wanted to be a performer somehow. We moved to Honduras for 3 years. My dad, took us over there. So, we go to this school called La Americana because, obviously, we were kids from LA. I knew how to speak Spanish, but I didn't know how to read or write it at the time.
Okay.
And so we go over there, and by this time, B-52s is huge, okay? And this is before I had discovered the peshmo and stuff. And so I had a couple of buddies of mine and these two girls that we used to hang out with, and we said, hey man, what if we, enter the talent show and we do, Rock Lobster, and they're all like, yeah. So we practice it for like about 3 weeks. Okay. And so everybody's doing all these different performances and stuff. Some people are doing dances. Some people are playing guitar to certain songs. And so the school had this record player, and they were playing all the records on the same little turntable, on the sound system. So when it came for our turn, we come up and we had it down, brother. I mean, we had our guitars, everything ready to go. We had borrowed guitars from family and friends. So we were all set. We had it down. We had been practicing. We looked at ourselves in the mirror to make sure that we were mouthing the words correctly and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yep. And so we had it down, man. The girls had this dance routine and everything. Dude, the freaking song starts down, 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 and then just as it started going, the freaking needle was so filled with dust from the previous records that it just slid.
Oh my god!
And so we're like, we're like, what the heck? And we're like, what's going on? And everybody in the audience, kids, they start booing and all this stuff. And I remember I was just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh my god.
And then they started closing the curtain, and I guess just before the curtain closed, you see me going, fuck, and I'm all pissed off, And so, it was funny because one of my friends, she says, oh my god, you should have just stayed calm. We totally saw when you screamed the F word and this and that.
Oh
then
my
I was all
god.
like,
that was your great performance
that
right
was
there.
my great performance right there. And so after that, I got a phobia of getting up on stage and stuff, and I said, yeah, that's just not going to happen anymore. So, but DJing helped me to feel that rush again of being in front of audiences and stuff. So it was awesome.
DJing is, I mean, we are the music makers of that whatever event is happening. Right. It's amazing how DJs provide that whole entertainment for that night.
Yep.
And then it's unfortunately that some people don't, some venues don't respect the DJs, and they just, it's all packed, and they don't pay the DJs what they were supposed to be paying.
Exactly.
It's like, come on, buddy, it's different. And then now with this pandemic, things have changed a lot. So,
And it's interesting, like we were talking about the evolution of equipment and stuff like that. And I found it very easy to teach my son how to beat mix, utilizing the same technique that I use, because I wasn't getting it. My older brother Marco was the one that was trying to teach me how to beat mix, and I was trying, but I wasn't understanding the concept of matching the beats. You know what I mean? It's like I would get it backwards, or it was, backbeating, and it was never in sync, and I couldn't understand it. So finally one day I got a duplicate copy of Spin It by Sunbelt. And you know how Spin It has that interesting little snare, that little, pew, And
so, you hear it.
Exactly. So then I said, and I grabbed both Spin Its, and then I was able to match the beats. So then I started messing with the pitch control, and I said, okay, so if I do this over here, then I have to catch it up over here, and I have to do this.
Yeah.
And so I started messing like that. So then I heard another song, and I said, okay, so this is what my brother's talking about, the downbeat. This is the snare. So now let me try to match this song with Spin It. And that's how I was able to get it. And I did the exact same thing with my son, who's 11, and he got it just like that.
I've seen videos, and that's it was exciting for me to see you teach your child how to beat match. I mean, that's
so you can imagine how I felt, man.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I think it's amazing in today's technology. I mean, now with the controls that we have, it's such you can mix anywhere now.
Now I got to share this with you, because just last night, this is no lie. I'm sitting here and I'm watching the news, and my son comes up all excited, Daddy. He goes, I just checked out this tutorial on GarageBand, and look what I created. And he created a nice little rhythm, a little bass line, a little, drum machine, all synced up, nice and neat. And I was all like, that's awesome, son. And then, just before he went to bed, he goes, I'm trying to add something else on top of this, because now he understands the layering.
Yeah, see, that's awesome. He's already his brain is already getting that there's layers on top to create a track.
Exactly.
I mean, you're gonna have a young producer there.
I hope so, man. That's the whole objective here, man.
the new generation of new music, and then coming from like someone like you, who's, I'm pretty sure your sons have been exposed to great music, and you have a great list of even your own remixes. So
it's been a blast to introduce them to that, and that's what this whole platform is about. It's just talking to DJs and our experiences, how we grew up around it, what we had to deal with carrying, milk crates full of records and stuff like that.
Man.
Remember that?
Look, you had to make sure that you had your killer tracks on that crate. Yeah. And that was probably the hardest, selecting the tracks, because that's it. You couldn't take a hard drive like we do now.
Exactly.
Bring all of our collection, which I love. But back then, I mean, that's why the challenge was so much tougher for us back then, because we needed to bring. And sometimes you're like, oh man, I'm going to bring all my crates, but 3 crates of records, and then you only play half of those.
I got excited. It was funny because I was really getting tired of carrying milk crates all around. Because on top of that, we had the big ass bass bottoms and speakers that were so heavy.
Dude, we got a workout,
right?
DJs got a workout before and after.
Yep, we were thin and buff. But you know what the lousy thing about it is that now in our older years, our backs are all screwed up from carrying all that equipment. Man.
You know what? I do have major lower back pain, and it's because of that. Yeah. Carrying the crates from 2 stories, 3 stories. Oh, the elevator's not working. Oh God. Not only that, the crates, but the speakers and the amps and
a freaking amp would be like, 200 pounds and stuff, And it just
now I trip out now because my setup is so compact, but it's a kick-ass system where I have a Pioneer controller that I travel, and it's got everything I need.
Yeah.
I have my software DJ that I use that also shoots out video. I run a hard drive that has everything, and it's plug and play. I love it,
baby.
Especially the test was now with streaming.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, thanks to you,
streaming has been now our savior.
Yeah, I was able to. I wanted to do it when DJ started first doing it, but I started noticing that the audio was really bad. And I was thinking, I don't want to go on there and sound like that, because people were saying, oh, cool, but I can't really make out the songs because it sounds distorted and stuff. And one night, Freddie Morales is live. Check him out. And I said, let me see what Freddie's spinning. I'm sure he's spinning some cool trance or something. And sure enough, boom, I go in, and I'm like, and I had it on my phone, and I was like, wait a minute. I pop it up, and I was like, that sounds really clean. And then I hear your voice, nice and smooth. This is Freddie Morales, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, holy crap. I go, where's he getting this audio from? How's he doing this? I think I called you the next morning and I said, "Hey, brother, talk to me. What do you got going on here that's making it sound so great?"
Yeah. You know what? Thank God I got on it right away. My last show as Devotional, the peshmo experience, was in March. I was touring before this pandemic. I mean, I was touring from 2019 and a full schedule of shows 2020. When this pandemic started, our last show was in March at the Slide Bar, and that was it. Then I was like, well, I need to do something. We're going to be locked down. I'm going to go crazy. So I went online, started researching, especially were concerned about playing the music on the streaming platforms, but making sure that the audio was important. It doesn't matter about the image. I didn't care. The audio was important. And I found the iRig company. And I found this device where you can plug it into your iPhone, RCA out into your mixer using the sound card from that iRig, and that's how you get a direct, beautiful signal. You just have to adjust the levels, make sure you don't go a little bit of red. You can have a little bit of red, just but not too much, and that's one thing I've learned, Fernando, is mixing audio in the digital platform is totally different from mixing digital on like a live venue. It's a totally different mix. So I had to learn those tricks within that month, and thank you for. I mean, I respect. I mean, you have a great ear for quality and all that, and then you reaching out to me, I was like, okay, Fernando's liking this, and everybody's liking this.
I mean, it's just like you said. It doesn't matter if you have bad video. People can kind of forgive the bad video, the quality. But I think that they won't forgive the audio quality, the sound. Because
right now we have such a short spam of a short if it sounds you're just being slide off. Oh, it doesn't sound good. Next. It's you lose them.
Exactly.
But when you have good audio and it sounds good, you get their attention. They're like, and then they're on.
And it's funny because I've been, as you know, I do a lot of voiceover work and stuff, and I've had my Scarlett, the Focusrite, for a long time, And when it first started, I said, there's got to be a way for me to connect this thing. And for whatever reason, I did a few tests with my buddy Lewis. He's a IT guy, so he's high tech. I call him el licenciado lo puede todo, because this guy, you give him a challenge, he figures it out. He can handle anything. So we started talking about it, and I said, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it wasn't sounding right. Just the quality wasn't there for whatever reason. My Scarlett direct into Facebook was not sounding right. So then I said, well, let's try it through Zoom, and tampoco, it just wasn't sounding right. So when I heard you got the Scarlett, and I jumped on it right away. I got the last one at Sweetwater. The last one, bro.
Yeah, that's a good Sweetwater. Thank you for saving the DJs and musicians, because that was your last source. Yeah. I ended up buying the last one. The guy told me, he goes, dude, you're lucky. I have a Sam Ash. I live on Melrose in Fairfax. So I have Guitar Center and Sam Ash
right there.
Sam Ash are my boys. Guitar Center, sorry. Sam Ash on Sunset, go there. They'll take care of you.
There you go. Tell him Freddie sent you.
He goes, you got the last one, bro. I was like, oh my God, and seriously, if it wasn't for that little device,
right?
I don't know, I would have
and it was
thrown myself out of the window, man.
Right. So I started doing that. But then I started noticing that all these DJs, from the East Coast, they started, going on Twitch and stuff, and they're coming up with all this creative stuff and these graphics and things. I'm like, wow, how are they doing that? They're adding these countdowns, and I was like, huh. So I go to my reliable source, YouTube, and I start doing.
Of course, that's our encyclopedia of the modern of today. Now
exactly.
You can learn so much stuff there.
Looking for how they're doing this, how they're doing that, and then I'm in this forum, and they start talking about, oh yeah, I'm spinning on Twitch, and I'm spinning on Periscope, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And then one guy says, yeah, he goes, I'm running on OBS Studio and this, and that, and blah, blah, blah. And so I saw OBS Studio, but I thought it was just another platform, like a Twitch or Periscope. I didn't know what it was. But then somebody asked him, hey man, how did you do that creative? He said, I did it in OBS Studio, and I'm running it on Twitch. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And so I reached out to the guy and said, hey, what's this OBS Studio? He goes, He goes, reach out to me. He goes, send me a private message and I'll tell you all about it. And at the time, I had been looking for a switcher because I wanted to do the 2-camera angle and the whole bit. And, you know, everything, I didn't want to pay for anything. I said, you know, I'm in a freaking
Well, who wants to pay for anything, right? We can't spend. We got to pay for roof, food,
exactly,
and, you know,
right?
it's like right now, it's like.
Yep, got a penny pinch. So I couldn't find anything. And then this guy starts telling me about OBS. He goes, you can do this, you can do that. He goes, go to their website. I go to the website, and I didn't notice it. I guess I had just skipped it. And he goes, yeah, the best of all, it's free. Mm-hmm. I was like, what? Wait a minute. Boom. And I immediately downloaded. Same thing, went right back to YouTube, started looking at tutorials, started laying everything out. And then I come across one guy that says how to make your OBS Studio audio quality sound great and blah, 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 blah. So he starts talking about his connections, and lo and behold, he has the Scarlett. And he gives us step-by-step as to how to connect the Scarlett and everything. So now I run the Scarlett, and the quality is even much better.
So I see that was a problem for me because the sound card wasn't picking up from OBS. And by the way, OBS, thank you so much. OBS, well, I think you and I have mastered it already because now our live streams are much more. Right. I mean, you and I are very professional, we're very detailed. So we like to decorate our because we're branding.
Right.
So now with this technology, now you don't just have see one person is kind of boring. Oh, look at them mixing. Mm. But if you add visuals and some kind, it keeps the viewer in you know interested. So if you have good audio and you have some cool little camera changes, people are interested in that and they want to see it and it looks nice. So OBS, man,
it's
I love it. I'm still learning from it too. And like I said, I'm like you. I went on YouTube but I was having a problem with the audio, and then I did go out and purchase a Yamaha USB mixer. Okay. I haven't seen it right here. Yeah. Let me tell you what it is. It's the.
Oh, gotta get the glasses on.
Yeah, I'm too. MG10XU Yamaha mixer. It's USB. It goes straight into my Mac. OBS detects the audio sound card from that, and boom, and I love it. Because I mean, I spent a lot of time doing the technical stuff, but sometimes you just want to plug and play and let's go, man.
Yeah. You just want to be able to do it, man. Just, I mean, it's not like back in the old days where you had like, you know, when I was talking to AJ Mora, we were talking about how we got started in producing remixes. Yeah. And I started off with Cakewalk Home Studio.
Oh, dude, everybody did, dude. Cakewalk. What was the other one? Fruity Loops, Reason. Dude, Fruity Loops is still being used by today's rappers.
Oh, yeah.
It blows me away. But see, it doesn't matter if it's Fruity Loops, Cakewalk, Cubase, Logic. It's how you use that software and equipment to produce what is in your head.
Exactly. And it's interesting that you bring that topic up because there are a lot of DJs out there. And it's funny because I still see little memes that come up and stuff like that. And there's a turntable and they say, if you didn't mix on this, you're not a true DJ, you know? And it's like, okay, you know, I grew up on turntables, you know?
Yeah.
I love them for very much. A DJ to me is a person that can not just beat mix, but can entertain and keep the dance floor going, regardless of what you're using. You know, that's my philosophy. There's going to be some DJs going to say, "Go to hell, Fernando." You know,
no, but it's true. But I, you know, and then you're bringing it up because we're talking about DJs, and I don't like it when DJs start talking, you know, putting other DJs down because of the equipment. You know what? Yeah. We're making art. We're using what we have here to create something. So I mean, I don't like to criticize on DJs who, you know, who are using these other systems to create their art. I think it's beautiful that we're able to do that.
Right.
You know, and it's kind of funny that technology has evolved. I mean, I trip out on the stuff that I take now, and I can create a massive show with the compact equipment that I have because it's just 100% so legit as far as like, you know, you're going to get it. Nothing's going to happen. By the way, I used to be a PC and I spent a lot of time on PCs. spend a lot of money. Never, dude. Never. They
Again,
always
right?
break down.
Yep.
I went to Mac, changed my world.
That was it.
Everything now is Mac.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do video and music,
Yeah.
Mac.
Especially video.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. You got 4K now, 5K, 7K. I mean,
yeah. It's funny because I was the same way, you know, for years. You know, my wife, you know, when we first got married, you know, and she saw, you know, for everything that you do, you should be on a Mac. I was like, yeah, no. And I kept doing it. And then one day, you know, because she's a graphic designer. So,
Yeah.
you know, we go off and we get her big iMac and stuff. And she's going, look, you can do this, you can do that. And I was like, I said, all right. So I got my first, you know, MacBook.
how did you feel when you open it up? You're like,
cool.
it's a totally different experience from a PC.
Exactly.
You're
Well,
like, it's
everything's
wide,
kind of backwards, though. You know?
Yeah, but see, you're like, oh, the way and it's
Yeah.
all nicely, you know, packaged, and
Yep,
the
yep.
smell of it just being brand new.
Okay, now you're getting a little crazy there with the smell.
That's what happens when you're locked for
Freddie,
85 days. Oh, I love the smell of this keyboard. That's how you crazy you
right?
get.
No, but hey, you know what? The reality is, I mean, it has changed my life as far as production for everything that I do. You know,
time.
Yes, yes.
It's less tech stuff and more of creating.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that these computers can communicate now, like quick. Hey man, communicate with that one, especially loading software. With the PC, oh, you got to bring this drive, you got to bring that. I'm like, it's not working.
Yeah.
Macs, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Done, ready to
Well,
go.
I mean, I think the biggest difference is in between Mac and PC is the virus element. I mean, PCs. I mean, boom. You know, that's it. It's
virus galore on the PC,
Yeah.
man. I mean, it's this massive virus, and that's one thing with the Mac is you just it makes my life easier, man. I'm here to create, not problem solve. That type of I don't have time for that, man. I got to create. My life is
crazy. All right, so let's talk about right now the present. So for those people that may be watching and that don't know who Freddie Morales is, I mean, he's a prominent DJ here in Southern California, and on top of that, happens to be the lead singer for probably one of the best Depeche Mode tribute bands in the world, is what I would say. There you go, Devotional, the Depeche Mode experience. Now, you evolve. Obviously, you're still doing the DJ, but you're doing this, and you have other projects that you're working on, like we can see right now behind you on the screen, the Desvio and the club performance that's coming up soon.
Yeah.
So let's talk about all these elements and what you're working on right now.
Yeah. Well, since the pandemic, I went back to my creative process, which I do like. I mean, this is my studio. I come here and I just, you know, be creative. And since March, I've been kind of just brainstorming. Devotional has been a project that's been going for 10 years, and thanks to all of the fans from around the world. It's been an amazing experience. I got to meet Depeche Mode. I got to meet Martin Gore, Alan Wilder, the whole team, behind the team. I've met other tribute bands from around the world too. I'm not just, you know, it's the thing is like with this tribute scene culture, we all just love the music of Depeche Mode, and I just love the fact that we can all it's not a competition. It's more of doing a tribute to the best band in the world. And me being from Los Angeles, being the very well recognized tribute, it means a lot to me coming from Los Angeles. Los Angeles is like Depeche Mode's main place. I mean, my first concert was at the Rose Bowl, you know, 101. That was it for me. But yeah, that project has been so just, I've traveled the world. I've gone to Mexico. I've gone to Santiago, Chile. I've met other musicians who like Depeche Mode, like Beto Cuevas. I was able to work with him. He actually supported the band and took us out to Santiago, Chile. Nice. I ended up playing at Blondie. Oh my God, that club was like 3 stories down. And it's a club where Erasure has played. It's a club where Alan Wilder did his Recoil. And just a lot of like 80s and 90s bands have played there. And just to be in those same places, not locally, like actually traveling. It's just been amazing.
What was it like the first time that you met the boys? When you met?
Oh man, Martin Gore. I met Martin Gore in Santa Barbara in 2010 when I started this project. And I ended up doing the project because coming out of from, like I said, I did this video that was 4 years of my life. Then I worked for some major radio stations and labels. I did remixes. Then in 2006, I got together with DJ Hessler. I released an album. And then after that, I kind of was just like, I got tired of the whole just record industry. And I just wanted to perform. And then the opportunity came out in 2009 when I went to go see a Depeche Mode tribute band here in Los Angeles. They were really good, but the lead singer, he just needed, you got to represent Dave to the fullest. I mean, that guy is just like, so I was like, you know what, this is good, but this can be better. So and then I just dove into that. I had samples of Depeche Mode, stuff that I've collected for years. And I got together with some other producers and we produced these tracks and made them our own, and then produced a Depeche Mode concert. And I have a set list like I can play for like hours, bro. Every album now. I mean, and then from that, I've been kind of not going back into my original music because people are interested in that. And I haven't touched my Desvio project and it's been 23 years. I mean,
wow,
a long time.
Been a minute, yeah.
So it's motivated me too. And I think doing Depeche Mode has also taught me a lot on stage, and it's helped me to kind of like reform and give this launch of Desvio a new touch of also evolving. And these songs are still up to par. I mean, I played some on my mix show last night and yesterday, and people are, like in Mis Brazos, they're like, wow, that song is amazing. Still sounds like a song that can be played today. So I'm looking forward to that.
When you spin it, you start seeing the comments, and it's like right away, boom, and Mis Brazos, oh my God, this video, and people still love it.
You know what? That song touched a lot of people. I mean, I can go to Chicago. Chicago, too, embraced it. I go there, and they love Mis Brazos. I mean, it was also put on a lot of the dance compilations when they came out. I mean, I was with, like, Moenya. We opened up with Moenya. And thinking about that, too, with Moenya, I was able to also open up for Moenya during my Depeche Mode, too. They came into town. They wanted to do something different, and thanks to a promoter that we all know, he contacted them and said, hey, we got this Depeche Mode tribute band if you want to open. I had no idea they were giving me the green light. Wow. And they did. And it was really cool to not just work with Moenya in Desvio when we first started, but also to work with Moenya years afterwards. With this. And they remembered me. They're like, you're the guy from Desvio. Oh, yeah. And they're big Depeche Mode fans. Yeah. So from that, I'm now relaunching my music. I'm going to get it on Spotify. I'm doing a show, our first show this Saturday, a live stream at Quarantine Gardens, we're calling it. And we're going to do a performance of our original music. So I'm looking for it. If I'm nervous, I'm much more nervous than playing Depeche Mode.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, it's been a minute since you've done it. I can understand the nerves. And you're going to be performing side by side with the club with Henrik. Right?
Yeah. He's going to be doing, and it's going to be a very minimal. I can't have a lot of people around because we're doing the social distancing, making sure that everybody. So we're going to, be careful with all that. Make sure that we're all doing the guidelines and all that we need to make this happen, because I think right now people are in need for new music, are in need to revisit what we did. Our generation produced an amazing amount of music, and I think it's time for relaunching all that stuff, and it's good to hear. I mean, why not?
It does. It puts you in a good place. It puts you in a good mood.
It puts you in a good mood and makes people happy, and to me, all that matters to me is like people like enjoy it, then cool. I'm putting people's smiles on their faces, and
that's cool. Now, will you guys be streaming the performance as well, or is
yes, it's going to be streamed. It's going to be streamed live. We're just going to go, and like after this, I got to go over my set list, and I'm doing some graphics. I'm actually doing what always wanted to do my desvio music, like put the visuals, which I couldn't do back in the day. It was too expensive back in the day. I mean,
but still, even back in the day, you guys had some pretty good stuff. Because I remember when we did Giggles, and we had you guys.
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys showed up with this big old glass stage.
Yeah,
see-through
thanks to
stage with lighting
Alfonso
coming up
Stein.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, you know, we're crazy, man. We just wanted to be that band that would bring in, you know, electronic music. To me is it's I don't know, it's exciting. I mean, I think about the music. I think about how to present the music, you know, the lights, the stage look, and all that. And yeah, we brought in thick glass.
Yeah.
It looked amazing. It took us hours.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember because you asked, hey, can we bring in our own stage? And we talked to Edmund, the owner of Giggles, and he's all, yeah, that's fine. He goes, it saves me a rental, you know, and stuff. And then I remember we had a little back and forth because you guys needed to be there super early. I think the performance was like at 6 p.m. And you guys wanted to be there like at 7:30 or something like that in the morning. And he's like, what? No. He's like, and then I remember that we ended up compromising, and your staff, your stage crew, I remember they were hustling, man, and they were just putting this thing together, and I'm just watching it come together piece by piece. But it was this big,
amazing
thick glass. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like these pipes, and then the glass was sitting on top. And then we put lights underneath. Yeah. It just looked beautiful. It was like, how in the beautiful. And thanks to Alfonso, and Alfonso Stein was the genius behind that, because he worked for his dad owned a company that manufactured stuff like that, and they had a big account with Nike. So Nike had all this other extra stuff. So they used that extra material to build the stage, and we only did it twice. And we brought it for Pappy's.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
We did it there. We brought it there too.
Yeah.
And we gave you a plaque. I remember we gave you a nice plaque. You still have that?
I still have it. In fact, I have it. I have it in my garage right up next to the plaque that I got from Lale.
Oh, nice. Oh, next to Lale, Beto Cuevas. Huh?
Yep. And they're I mean, it's a picture of you and Mark and the Desvio logo. It was really cool. Beautiful wood and this little metal thing on top of it. Was bomb. I love it, man. It
was cool.
And then, the one that I got from Beto was the actual frame with the guitar picks, the drumsticks and stuff, and they all signed it. So it was really cool, man. So I still have it up there, man.
I got to see Beto. It was cool because this is what's cool about this project that I've been doing. Just my life in general, how things happen. I was in Mexico, and when we were there in February, Beto was out there doing he did Jesus Christ Superstar. Jesucristo Superestrella.
Yeah.
And it was crazy to be in the same place. I would see big posters of him, like promoting that.
Right.
And then I would see posters as big as for my show. I'm like, what is going on?
Well, they don't mess around over there. When they promote, they promote.
Oh, I'm telling you, I was like, I mean, all sizes, Fernando. I mean, I saw my poster in a bus. It was just crazy.
That's awesome.
And I was able to invite him to the show. He came down to the show. He invited me to his launch, opening night of his of the play, and it was just amazing. I mean, I'm like, this is crazy. We're like, I'm a big fan of Lale, and now I have Beto Cuevas as a friend, and he's inspired me so much. Yeah. You know, I've learned so much from that guy.
Yeah, I used to talk a lot to Mauricio Claveria.
Yeah.
We kept in touch for a few years, but then after a little bit, boom, we just lost touch, and I haven't talked to them in years. But I every time they came to the radio station, we interviewed them. It was a blast having them on and stuff. And I still remember the day that we interviewed you and Mark, and we did the live acoustic on air.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man. That was really good stuff.
Who was playing the guitar?
I don't remember.
Oh, it was Mark Anthony. Yes,
there you go.
Came,
yeah.
Because Mark played keyboards and all that. He was the producer of the album, and then we hired extra musicians to bring the music to life. And that was Mark Anthony.
Yeah, I remember you guys slowly started to evolve and bringing live instruments, live drums, and stuff like that. And that was cool. Yeah. Well, listen, brother, we've come up to our limit here. I really appreciate you taking the time and talking to me. And just, reminiscing and talking about your DJ works and your live performances. So why don't you give one last plug for the performances coming up?
Well, thank you so much, Fernando, for supporting all of my projects. I appreciate you, brother. And I just, I'm so blessed that everybody during this pandemic has reached out and supported. And musicians got really hit hard on this, and DJs. And I think that right now it's an opportunity for us to just, keep the music alive, keep your spirits up, be creative. I mean, I even started painting, so I, support all musicians out there who are streaming. They're just doing it because we just want to be there for all of you. If you want to follow me, Facebook, Freddie Morales, my devotional, it's devotional, thedepeshmodeexperience.com. Same thing on Facebook. I'm going to be relaunching Desvio, a new song that I just wrote, a new song in English called Visions of the Future. And it's pretty much a song about what's happening today. And it's funny because I wrote this song last year with a amazing producer, Gabriel. He's from Argentina, one of the amazing producers that I've worked in a long time. Very young, great. We got together, we produced this track. He's also has his own Depeche Mode, a tribute band called The Mode. Great guys, check them out. But we're going to be releasing this video and single soon during this month. And then we have a show August 28th with Devotional out in Apple Valley at the Hilltop Tavern. Nice. It's outdoors, so it's going to be great. We're going to be playing the best of Depeche Mode, all of the hits. Nice. And that's what's happening. And then you'll see me streaming, on Periscope or Facebook. And, both streams are different. I have to be very careful with Facebook because of the algorithm and taking you down. Periscope, I love you have the freedom because it's a French-based company. They're like, oh, play. You can play. We'll deal with the copyrights later. The peshmo, we like the peshmo. We're not going to take you down for the peshmo. Play the peshmo. And then you got Mark Zuckerberg is like, take him down. I hate that guy. I seriously, that guy has not done anything for musicians. So,
yep. Well, as you can see, Freddie had some bad issues there with our friends over at Facebook, and he's been taken down. You were gone for 3 months or something like that?
No, what happened was, we were doing these live streamings, and I don't bring politics or anything. I just love in music and art. Mm-hmm. And I think, what are taking you down? It's the record labels. Yeah. Because when you get detected by the algorithm, you see Warner Brothers or it's not the band. It's not Facebook. Facebook is just going through what
their policies and stuff.
Their policies, right? But then you got the labels. I'm sorry. The labels need to chill because we are still playing the music that all these other people are not playing.
You think that they would be happy that we're promoting their music and people will say, hey, what is that song? I want to go look it up and go try to find it.
Well, look at Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode, they don't care. They love their fans. Yeah. They're not going to be going after, look, I've been doing Depeche Mode for 10 years. They haven't gotten me. They don't go after me. Right. They know what we're doing. They benefit from what we're doing. We're keeping their legacy alive. So I think that has to happen with the platforms on social media.
Right.
So
I think the labels are still pissed off because of the whole Napster thing, but oh well.
You know what? After labels, the labels made so much money, and they ripped off a lot of souls. They ripped us off
for many, many years.
I'm sorry. It's like,
truth.
That's another story.
Right? All right. Listen, brother, thanks a lot. God bless you. Please stay safe. We shall be in touch, and hopefully someday soon we'll be out and about together.
We got to do. Look, we're going to do an event together because like this Saturday is going to be the launch of this video, and I'm foreseeing future shows, and definitely would like to have you as an opening DJ for a show. So we got to make that happen.
Count me in. Okay. Count me in. All right, party people. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you. All the links to Freddie's pages and everything will be down below in the description. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like buttons, hit that bell, and get notified when we have more amazing DJs and performers out there. Brother, Freddie, thank you. Love you, bro.
God bless.
Peace out, man.